Hey, it's Ron. Ron McCracken, also known as Running Ron. Just making a little video about struggling through tough mental health days. No matter where we are in recovery, there's always going to be tough days or tough hours or tough moments. There's other than job insecurity and financial insecurity, there's not anything real specific today, but just one of those days, just kind of rough. And hot rodders over there. That's when we have to remind ourselves of how far we've come. Give ourselves a pat on the back. And among other things, today, May 18th, actually it's May 19th now because it's after midnight, but May 18th made 3 years and 11 days sober for me. And that's a gigantic accomplishment for me. Also made 129 days on my new running streak. So I've got that going too. And also, I just posted on Twitter and Facebook again my YouTube video from the NAMI Texas State Conference, the workshop that I did on PTSD. That's well past 1,100 views on YouTube now after, I think it's 6 months, after just over 6 months. So I'm thrilled about that, because that might be, well, a few people have told me that it really helped, and they thanked me for doing that workshop and for converting it to a YouTube video and posting it. Posted it many times since then. Excuse me for just a moment here. Excuse my fingers there. So I just had to look at what I've accomplished, and that's a reminder not only from my therapist, but also from Dr. Joseph Guillory, who was one of the creators of the recovery workshops that we do every month or two. And they've all been on Zoom since January of 2021. But our next one is going to be in June, on June 26th. And it's going to be in person, live and in person, and I'm excited about that. That'll be the first one that I've done in person. I'm a peer support specialist for those, and I'm excited about that. And see, just listening for myself what I've done so far, and also some things to look ahead to that really boost my mental state tonight. And so I think that hopefully that means that I sleep better tonight. I'm about to go home, and I just finished a little run, and I'm about to go home and cook dinner for my dog and walk him, my dog Zeus, my emotional support dog. And that's about it. But I think the big thing that I can keep reminding myself of is that on May 7th, I reached 3 years of sobriety, and for me that's just a monumental achievement. It probably is for anyone, but it's something that I've said many times. I never thought I would seek. And my hair, it's a superhuman night in Dallas, Texas. Even though it's late at night, it's still well into the 80s and humid as all hell. So bad hair night. But I never thought that I would seek sobriety, much less achieve it. And here I am, more than 3 years into it. And that's just, it's been the key to everything. That was 2019 that I started that. I was already doing better in my therapy and advancing, but within a couple months of getting sober, I was advancing much more rapidly and much more thoroughly in my therapy. And that led to, in summer of 2020, I think it was July, that led to me, I'm going to stop for a minute here. My arm's getting tired. That led to me forgiving Jahar Tsarnaev, the Boston Marathon bomber, the surviving one. And that was a giant weight off my shoulders. That was the weight of the universe off my shoulders, I always say. And that helped me with my PTSD, among other things. And especially a big part of that was just I had so much anger and hatred for him that I felt bad about it. And that was just holding me back. My therapist always says it's like drinking poison and hoping it hurts the other person. Holding that grudge, holding that anger and fear and hate, and doesn't do anyone any good. So my sobriety was the key to reaching that point. And then December 2020, I was chosen to start being a peer support specialist for these recovery seminars that we do. We've done 10 of them so far, if I remember correctly. And so June will make number 11. And those have been just life changers for me. Get a little bit of money for being a peer support specialist at those, but of course not nearly enough to pay my bills. But the thing is, something that's huge on my resume, or it should be anyway, and it's going to lead to bigger and better opportunities. Although this is just, the recovery seminars are still one of the greatest experiences of my life, that I would never trade it. I would never trade it. That I'd do it over again a million times. And just those led to me applying for and being chosen as a workshop presenter at the NAMI Texas State Conference back in November. And that's when I did that presentation on my PTSD recovery journey, how the Boston Marathon bombings helped save my life. And now, like I said, now that's got well over 1,100 views and getting a lot of attention. It's kind of borderline viral. Not quite viral. I'd love it if it had 1 million views, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. But see, I just have to remind myself of those things, that I've achieved quite a bit in a relatively short time. It just, as far as my bills and everything, it doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough. But it's all coming together, putting all the pieces in place for future success. And so there we have it. I kind of gave myself a little pep talk there. But it's the same thing I would tell anyone in recovery, or anyone who's struggling with mental health conditions and addiction, is that, ignore, I love this phrase from my therapist, you have to ignore the monger, the propagandist. That's the negative voice in your head that tells you you're not worthy, or you can't do that, or you can't do this. You have to just ignore that and just tell them to shut the fuck up and keep moving forward and do what deep down you know you can do. Gravitate towards your talent. And sorry, there's still some noisy traffic out here. Utilize your talents. We all have them. And remind yourself that you do deserve these good things, that you do deserve better things that you haven't got yet, but you're going to. And that's just it. So onward and upward, and like Jedi Master Yoda said, luminous beings are we, and for luminous beings we are. And my mom always signed off on all her cards and letters with the Frank Sinatra phrase, "The best is yet to come." And that's what you have to do, remind yourself the best is yet to come. All right, everyone, take care.